You know it.
So you were originally supposed to face Solo Hatley at PA Cage Fight 35. The fight is not happening now. Now you're taking on Chris Piriz, a little bit more experienced guy, tougher challenge. Talk a little bit about the fight and how this all came together.
Okay, so basically, I was originally supposed to fight Solo. We signed the contract and everything, and then there was some issue where he didn't want to travel to an airport that was a little further, but then it came out that he already had a fight booked with another promotion. So it kind of just gave the look that he didn't want this fight and was looking for a different fight. Which, hey, if you didn't want the fight, that's one thing. But, once you sign that contract, you're kind of obligated to take the fight. So it left a bad taste in my mouth. And, there was a chance that I was going to lose out on my opportunity to fight, which, I'd been preparing for since, 6 weeks before that. So it was a little bit of a tense moment for me. Paul ended up coming through, finding me, some people, and Chris Piriz, one of them. He actually had lost his fight. I was out at the CFFC a couple weeks back cornering, and he had lost his fight at weigh-ins, which actually happened to me once, which, I know that feeling, and it stinks, man. You did all that work for nothing. So I feel for him in that way, and I think it all, was meant to be. It came together. Now I have a fight, he has a fight, and we're both people who are going to show up and we're going to fight. There's not going to be any pulling out for any, stupid reason. He's a game opponent and he's a tougher opponent, and I look forward to the challenge.
So Chris does have a lot more experience than you. You're 2-0 as a pro. I believe he has probably double, maybe even more than that than you do.
Yeah, he's 6-6.
Yeah, 6-6. So 10 more pro fights than you do. How do you prepare for a guy like that?
I'm training day in and day out with, guys who have that many fights. Jim Miller has the, most in the UFC. So I'm on the mat daily with guys like that. And, he's fought some tough guys in the area, some of the best in the area. So he's been in there, with good guys. And, I know my record doesn't show it yet, but I think I'm one of those better guys in the area. And I think this is just going to be an awesome fight. He knows what he's looking to do, and he knows what I'm looking to do. And, styles make fights, and it's gonna be a war.
With the opponent change, do you have to change the way you prepare for the fight? You're training for Solo, and now a couple weeks out, you're training for Chris.
No, very similar. They're both orthodox. Both like to throw that big right hand. Chris is just a little bit taller and I think a little more crisp, where Solo was really just winging a couple more punches. I think Chris has better striking and better takedown defense, and he's going to be ready. And I didn't really switch up too much.
Now, this is your third pro fight with PA Cage Fight. You've also fought there several times as an amateur. What is it about the company that keeps you going back there?
It's a great promotion. Paul puts on a good show. He takes care of all the fighters. It's not too far, so I have a pretty good fan base, and they all seem to like it, that it's not that far, and I get a lot of people to come out. And, like I said, he takes care of us, and I like the way he runs things.
What are your goals for this year as far as fighting your MMA career? Is there a number of fights you have in mind? Anything that you want to achieve?
I'd like to fight. I had a little bit of an injury after my last fight, and then I had a minor back surgery, nothing to do with like an injury or anything like that. So I was actually laid up for a while, so I didn't get to fight as much. I'd like to fight 3, if not 4 times this year. That'd be ideal. I have my wedding this year too, so it's gonna be hard to kind of fit it all in. But I'm just excited to fight as much as I can. I'm not banged up. I'm gonna get right back in there.
Talk about some of your teammates. Like you said, you've got Jim here, but you've got a lot of guys in this gym, a lot of guys that are up and coming, guys who just fought. You got Frank Wallace, Tiz. Talk a little bit about those guys, what we can expect to see from them.
Same thing, man. They're especially Tizzy. He's young. He's hungry. We have quite a few 45ers that are up and coming, so it really makes for a great training environment. And those guys are just, like I said, they're in here grinding and putting in the work, and I think you can expect big things from our whole team all around.
Last thing, if there's any teammates, coaches, sponsors, anybody you want to thank?
Obviously, I want to thank all my sponsors. I'm going to list a few of them off. I'm sorry if I forget some. Lorenzo's Pizza has been with me for a while. I got Torch Eyewear, Red's Exterior, Wonder Heating and Air. All these guys have been behind me, supporting me. It makes it easier to get in there, to get, make sure that I'm doing all the right things, getting all my supplements, stuff like that. And obviously my coaches. I've been with Coach Brian McLaughlin for a long time. He's one of the best in the game when it comes to jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu with strikes. And obviously Jim's a big part of my camp and support. We got Shorty and Tizzy that are, we're always training together, always working hard, and I really want to thank my team, and the students that we have here. We got a lot of students that really support not only me but the other fighters, and it makes it a little bit easier to get in there. And I just want to thank everyone who's part of the team, all the way from the white belts that I get to drill with to Jim and Dan Miller putting in that work.